we don't really have to do something really, really very different in order to like make the whole experience better for the customer. I think kind of like what you saw, the experience after COVID is becoming more and more hybrid. So it's like more a mix of online plus offline. And I see that a lot as well. Like, for example, before COVID, we used to do a lot of site visits for the larger jobs. Like, customers insist, you have to be here, I have to see your face, then I can trust you. But nowadays, it's like, we tell the customer, can we just come down? And then they're like, can we just do a video call? Like, and they would just confirm like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 deals just over video call. And the first time we see them is when we get started on the work. So
Fantastic.
Welcome back to TFC Business Show. I'm your host Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut. Today's podcast is important because we're gonna essentially talk about digitalization and how do you like unlock life and excitement in the old boring business. So joining me is Cheryl. You want to introduce yourself, our audience?
Hi everyone, I am Cheryl, host of the Thought Leader Club podcast.
Yeah, but actually, do you have any experience in this type of old businesses, not so exciting, when a lot of Gen Zs think of putting up their jobs, they will not go there.
Personally, no, I do not, but that's why I'm really excited for this conversation.
Okay, great. And we have two entrepreneurs that have been there, done that. So life wasn't easy when it started probably, right? So for our audience that don't know you, you want to introduce yourself?
yeah, hi, I'm James. I run a repair maintenance company.
You see,
So-
as boring as it sounds, repair
it-
maintenance company.
yeah. So you can just think of me as like a handyman, I guess. I just fix lights, toilets, that kind of thing. So that's what I do.
Yeah, no, but you you serve 15,000 customers.
Yes, so we have 15,000 customers. Actually, 17,000. So that's not an outdated number.
Yeah.
So 16,000 is homeowners, 1,000 is businesses.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
It cannot be a small outfit.
Of course,
There's
of
a
course.
lot of stuff inside there, and that's where we want to talk about, right?
Amazing.
And yes, we have Yin Long. You want to introduce yourself, our audience?
Hi, I'm Ying Long, and I'm the sales director of CityMusic, and we are in the business of wholesale and retail of musical instruments, professional audio, video, and lighting equipment, and we've been around since 1968. Yeah,
The
pretty
number
old.
come as
We're pretty old.
old,
Pretty old. Almost as old as Singapore.
Yeah.
And our clientele varies from professionals in our music and audio industry, like musicians, sound engineers, people who are just into music and audio. And also now we cater to the content creators. Basically, we have solutions for people who want to do podcasts, for
Like us,
example.
yes, yeah.
Right?
And they have supported us a lot of
live
good stuff,
streams
yes.
and content creation and such. Yes.
Yeah. So you are second generation.
I am the second generation.
Okay, so when do you take over? How was it like? You want to do big things, but the appa upstairs say cannot. There's always that friction, right?
So,
Yeah.
so the company was formed by my father, Willie Ho, in '68, and I came into the company in the year 2000, and that's where it was a lot of us when we came out from school. Probably we want to go out and head out and gain some experience, and I didn't have the opportunity at the time. It was like timing, we came out from the 97, 98 financial crisis. So it was a time whereby as I was like going out to, maybe I want to try something else, and my father behind was like, we need help, come back here, and here I am after 24
That does-
years. Yeah, I'm
That
still
sounds
around.
like a
I'm still around.
Chinese there. It's like, I really help. Come home.
Yeah.
Okay. Things
But so
together.
far it's been great. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I think laying the ground to remove all the marketing speak. This is a handyman company.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a guitar shop, right?
We are rock and roll.
Yeah, rock-
This is the fixer, right?
Yeah. And I don't think anybody associates this industry as like exciting, frontier,
Not
new,
mainstream.
Like with a lot of life, right? So maybe share with us a little bit, how are you different from how people associate you to be? Maybe the way people discovers you, your business model, and all that good stuff.
Okay, I think when someone thinks of a handyman, like generally they think of an old uncle, right? Like a 60-year-old uncle that shows up, tells you to come at 2 p.m., shows up at 4 p.m., doesn't really care about anything, just leaves your floor dirty, all that kind of thing. But we're a bit different, I guess. We're younger. Our team, the average age of our team members is like 30. So we've been doing this for 8 years, and we just try to inject tech wherever we can, digitalize things where possible, and most of our customers find us through like organic search. So it's really different from like the standard handyman business you would think about.
So you're SEO optimized handyman.
100%. Like look at our name, like
Wow.
Welcome Repair.SG. So 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, is there some wisdom in the name?
Yeah.
Like repairs.sg.
As
Because SEO has these type of things,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah,
100%. So like it really helped us like from the perspective of whenever you search anything repair related, like we're just straight at the top. So like if we want to start a new repair service, we just put a page up, and because our domain is there, the history is there, it just shoots to the top. So it's really amazing.
Yeah. So CityMusic should be like guitar.sg or something. right?
Something I have to learn. I just speak to you later. Learn more.
Yeah. And then what about your experience? Like how have you guys tried to like stay relevant, open
Okay.
up business
So,
models?
I mean, traditionally, we started off as a very traditional acoustic piano business in the 60s, 70s. And we, along the years, we actually had the privilege and to grow alongside with our music industry in Singapore. So I would like to, first of all, shout out, we do have a wide range of really talented music creative people, support local actually, and we have the privilege and honor to go alongside with them, make very good friends and contact with them. So we have actually established a long relationship, and along the way we also picked up new brands. So we are as I said, we are distributors, so we import brands and we market to our local markets here. And as we pick up new equipment, we learn new technology. And that's, I would say, even since 80s, we are already embarking in the digital transformation, because our musical equipment and audio equipment is always moving, pushing the boundaries of technology. So we are already in the early stage at that time, already trying to push for digitalization without even realizing at the time. Now we look back,
Frontier.
So you've been like digitalizing like 20 years before I was born.
we would like to think so, but we are still learning today. I have things to learn from you today.
Same, of course.
So what I'm hearing is that you folks are the OGs in your space, but James, for you, would you
Yes.
say that your unique differentiator is the fact that you guys are a younger company, or what is your unique differentiator?
Okay, so I wouldn't really say that we're uniquely different in any way. I like to think about it as just we try to really care about our customers, because I think the one constant, if you ask people in this space when they are looking for a handyman or an aircon person, is generally they don't care. They don't care to be reliable. They don't care to be a good price. They don't care to like serve you well. And I think it's been really ingrained in our culture since the very beginning that we want to take care of our customers. So everyone that joins the team, the number one thing I say to them is, if you can't take care of customers, you can't be here. So that's how I would say we're different. But it's not really something special in any way.
No, but I think your discovery process is quite different, right?
Yeah.
I discovered him through the SEO,
Yeah.
right? So we shifted to a new office, and I searched electrical, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then it popped up, right? And of course there are other websites that pop up, but the websites look very weird. 60-year-old uncle behind the website. What do you think, right? So then. And a lot of the thought process into the user experience that you've created is actually not that generic. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably a little bit more widespread in other industries, but not so, in the handyman space, right? So you want to kind of elaborate a little bit on that. Like even why you use WhatsApp, like that whole spiel is actually a lot of thought process.
Of course, I wouldn't say there's really deep thought in it. It's more of, I knew for a fact, like having to have helped my parents like fix the things around their house, like calling contractors and all that I had a bad experience. And because I wanted to be in this space, I just thought of it as,
We've all been there.
how would I do it myself, right? Like how would I want to have gone through the process? So if I would rather have used WhatsApp, that's why I use WhatsApp. If I would have found them through search, that's why I have a website, that's why I focus on SEO. If I would have wanted them to be on time when they said they would be on time, then that's why we're on time. So it's more of like just, if that's the kind of experience that I would have wanted, and I knew it didn't exist, so that's why I did it this way.
As the business kind of developed,
Yeah,
your tech stacks will develop, right?
100%.
Yeah, it gets more and more complicated. I think the other day I was talking with you Long, and he was saying, this digital thing sounds very good, but actually inside a lot of cost, difficulty, and a lot of problems in it, right? And we want to give our audience that kind of, lived experience, right? Because we totally understand the value of digitalization, right? It unlocks productivity, opens up new market possibilities. That's whole shit, right? But there are a lot of problems, in doing this, right? So can you guys kind of share with us a little bit, on this front? How does it look like? Your tech stack, how does it work and all
Well, our tech stack we change a lot, honestly. I think the way we like to approach things is a little bit of what Facebook mottos was back in the day, which is move fast and break things. So
Like
if
you're
I-
supposed to fix things.
Yeah, I'm supposed to fix things, yes. Whenever I see something new, like software-wise or tech-wise, that I think could improve the customer experience or just make everything better for my people, we just try it out. Like, generally, there are free trials for a lot of software, so just give it a shot. If things break, then we can revert back. If things are hard, we can just work our way through it. And ultimately, if it serves the customer better, then we just work our way through the problems. Yeah, this.
I think for us, we started our e-commerce journey during the dot-com era. If any of the not so young audience can remember, whereby we don't call we call it a website, HTML coding, GIF animation kind of. So it's pretty cheesy if you look at it now, but that's where we started at that time. And at that time was just a catalog listing site where we show what we have. Yeah. And I guess we were one of the, at least in our industry, we were one of the first business to have a proper e-commerce when we started somewhere in mid 2005 or so. That's where we started, and we at that time was a lot more straightforward. We have less competition, we have less businesses with e-commerce. And also the challenge was also it was early, and not everybody was comfortable to click online and purchase. People still believe in that face to face. I want to meet you.
To date, I think it's still true. Smaller things you can just buy online, but bigger things, I still feel like I gotta test it out,
But I would like to contest to that. In a way, you're right, quite most of the time. But after COVID, the entire consumption pattern, the spending pattern has absolutely changed.
Can you expand?
Because when everybody was working from home. Give an example. We actually came out in the newspaper. There was an article about us. We were very lucky at that point. We were selling USB microphones. And
I read that.
At that point, we happened to be the only vendor that had a lot of inventory because our principal twist our arms. You need to order X amount of quantity, and we just swallowed it and thought that we probably going to sell it for the next 2 years. And somehow everybody else had no products because there was production shortages for many other industries, and we were the one who had all the inventory of USB microphones, and we became the king of at that point.
USB microphones.
It became an essential item. Correct. But so as I said, that the spending pattern has changed because since COVID, people are so used to just procuring online. At least for our industry, they buy microphone, guitar, they buy guitar strings. But we also have seen the wife buying a $4,000 guitar for the husband without even coming down. Traditionally, as a musician guitarist, you want to open up the instrument, smell it, play on it, test it.
I know.
Here we have
wood
like
smell.
a $6,000 guitar just went off online. It's like, don't they have to test out the instrument? But we do have that. Yeah. So also have to add on to that. Although the e-commerce business for us has shot up by so much after COVID, we are not doing away with our physical space because we still believe in making that connection. Yeah, so that's how we have.
One thing I'm really curious about from both of you is there's a lot of talk about what happened or what changed during COVID, but COVID was 4 years ago at this point. So I'm curious to know what used to work during COVID, but no longer really works anymore in 2024, 2025.
As I said, the spending pattern has changed. So what we realized was the audience or clientele, they are very smart now. They know pretty much what to buy because they will do all their research, watch all the reviews.
They think they're very smart. In the digital marketing space, then that's a different kind of world. Okay, please continue.
So that's why for us, at least for us CityMusic, how we've evolved is we have the digitalization, but we still have our people element in it so that we can still engage and connect with our clientele out there. So like, for example, if someone wants to come here and come to us and I want to buy a microphone, we're not interested to sell a microphone to our client. We're interested to sell a solution. And before we can do that, we need to know, what are you going to use it for? Okay, if you're going to use it for a podcast, for example, like what we have here, you definitely need cables, you need stands, you need lights. Maybe you also need, you want to do a video podcast, you need cameras, you need audio equipment and the whole work. So then when we configure a solution that is right for your setup. So it can be something as basic one-man show, or it can be as elaborate as what we have today. Fantastic setup, by the way.
Thank you, thank
Reggie.
you. Yeah, sponsored by them. It's on the mics, everything. And I think that's something, right? Because sometimes when people ask me, what do you think of this? I don't know. It's just like that, right? And when you kind of go deeper on it, then you realize, there's a lot of intricacies, right? So in other words, whatever worked before COVID and whatever is now, the difference is that people are coming back into the shops, people are looking for physical experience. Is that kind of what you're saying for us?
Yes, for us. So when we move out of our previous building at Peace Center, we were there for the past 43 years.
Iconic Peace Center shop.
Iconic for various reasons, obviously. We had to move out because we had to go through a collective sale en bloc. Basically, we were being forced to move out, and we chose to move into a totally different space. We're not in a mall anymore. It's more of an industrial kind of setup, so that we don't even call our retail shop. Our space, we call it a e-commerce studio or a gallery, whereby we do, if you come to our space, you've been to our space, it's a bit like the setup here. Yeah. We do have cameras, lights, because we do a lot of content. So that's part of our digitalization, what we do, one part of the digitalization, which is content. We do a lot of content. We hold a lot of activities and workshops. We had the honor of you, Reggie, speaking at one of our events recently also. So we also have a very interesting, because we are so good in our audiovisual setup, we do have an audiovisual card. So if you go to our website, there's a chat board at the bottom. It's very important now, right? But we do have an additional function. There's a camera icon. You can click on it. You can actually open up and see our space and talk to our people. And if you want to have more like a consultation process, okay, you can make an appointment with us, come to our space. But if you're at the comfort of your own home from our e-commerce, open our camera, the camera icon. Our sales team will come during office hours, obviously, and we can speak to you. 2
a.m. cannot stay. It's like, hey, let's talk to CityMusic. Click. It's like,
got to wait to 10. And our team will be there to, we can push the cart around entire space. I want to see guitars, you want to see keyboards, I want to see audio, I want to see cameras and lights and so on. There will be microphones to let you hear also if you want to, how the guitar sounds. And at the end of the day, what we want is to facilitate, hold your hand to add to cart and check out.
Yeah, fair. And also, actually, from that point of view, right, as you expand your business beyond your traditional, where you're comfortable with, right? Like, I mean, I definitely been to the Peace Center shop. There are tons of guitars back then, but I can see that your new space, the product mix has changed.
Yes.
Right, it's much lesser guitars, a lot more AV kind of stuff, and is that kind of a part of this whole making the business more trendy, changing the product mix, staying relevant?
I think relevant is the key word here. Music, it's not like what it used to be. So for us coming from the music industry, music today is not like in the 20, 30 years old, you can stand alone on its own. Now music is part of a content, part of a movie, music video, or a trailer and so on. And so we are actually now catering solutions for content. Okay, content, and so that involves music, audio, lighting, and cameras. That's why we see a lot of you see a lot of our other equipment that is besides the guitars and the keyboards. We do have a wide range of audio and visual lighting solutions for our content creators.
Okay, fair. So I think there's a lot of things that SME tauques can try, right? And we always have limited budget, huh? It's like although we want
Always.
to try everything, but it's not realistic, right? So maybe you can expand a little bit on like what are some strategic things that you've tried digitally, innovate from them, because I think you have an unfair advantage. I know you build everything on your own. It's crazy. Please elaborate for us.
I mean, I think we don't really have to do something really, really very different in order to like make the whole experience better for the customer. I think kind of like what you saw, the experience after COVID is becoming more and more hybrid. So it's like more a mix of online plus offline. And I see that a lot as well. Like, for example, before COVID, we used to do a lot of site visits for the larger jobs. Like, customers insist, you have to be here, I have to see your face, then I can trust you. But nowadays, it's like, we tell the customer, can we just come down? And then they're like, can we just do a video call? Like, and they would just confirm like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 deals just over video call. And the first time we see them is when we get started on the work. So
fantastic.
Same for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So
because from my predecessors in the industry, they say must go for multiple pitch meetings, the deck must present, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, the only time I see them is when they're recording with me, right? So everything in front is all digital. We sign the documents digitally. We pitch everything digitally. It's a very different space.
Yeah. And just when it comes to other technology, really it just always starts with something simple, easy, and straightforward. So for example, video calling for site visits, that's where we started. After that, we could evolve to using like more tools. For example, like some tools that help like generate AI summaries so that we can summarize meetings easier. But like it always starts with something really simple. If it's like chat, instead of SMS, we do WhatsApp. If it's instead of a site visit, we do a video call. So we just always start with what's simple, see what works, and then we just evolve from there.
So it sounds like Repair.SG has found a lot of different solutions or tools that work. But that being said, was there anything, let's say in 2024 so far, that you have tried, but it didn't really pan out the way you wanted to, and why?
Okay, so one thing that really didn't work is I tried to bring customers back to calling because it was more personal. We're able to like get more out, like, and you can like tell kind of the tone, whether they're interested, whether they're not interested, whether they feel it's expensive, whether it's cheap, things like that. But customers just want WhatsApp now. Like they just don't want to speak to us.
Now you want to call me, you WhatsApp me first.
100%.
Can call?
Yeah. So that's the main thing that didn't work. Everything else has just been little iterations on what we already have. So we've been trying to like set up a autoresponder for WhatsApp so that we can get back to customers for basic questions out of operating hours. But other than that, there hasn't been any major thing that hasn't been working.
What about you guys?
Things that didn't work because we have always tried new things like you. So, and the digitalization, this is such a big buzzword that even our government is actively advocating.
That's why we're here to say the truth.
Correct,
This is how it actually
This
works.
is the truth. Let me share our journey. And we have a whole bunch of vendors squatting out there waiting to offer their digital solution. I had this vendor came out to me and they probably hired some part-timer, a retired housewife or so on. Oh, we have you know that you can use this fund from the government. I forgot the name of the fund, but these are all the great initiative. They are great initiative from the government. And this combination, you want to build an app for your company, just use the money, just build an app. Without understanding, do we really need the app and what kind of app do we really need? No, just build an app. It's like what do you even understand what we are doing? No. So this and that's we get a lot of this. So the challenge actually is we are bombarded with a whole suite of digital solutions, and a lot of us SMEs we sometimes very often we don't know even where to start. And also, and there are actually very good initiatives from the government. And the challenge again, don't fault me. I mean, navigating government websites sometimes can be a little bit challenging for most average people.
We don't have a secretary team, right? So the UI needs to improve, right?
We do spend a lot of time, and very often we get into a loop. And because we SMEs are so busy trying to operate and survive, after a while it's too much. So, but what really did work for us was we actually did have the opportunity to embark on, as you move, you saw our new space, and we actually did a rebranding campaign with the support of Enterprise Singapore. So I think that is I would actually highly advocate a lot of us SMEs to speak to them because they do have very good people there, very good programs. And we had the pleasure and very fortunate to have a very good officer. And then we selected a very good marketing consultant that did a rebranding. Why did we need a rebranding at that time was because as I was talking to even my father, I said, okay, we're going to do on a rebranding project. First impression, first response, imagine, why do we need a rebrand? We are so old. That's the problem, because we are so old. That is the reality. So when we did
we're not culturally relevant.
Correct.
Yeah.
So our consultant did a focus group, an internal and external audit of ourselves, how we are being perceived by even our own people, by people outside, people who don't really know us yet. And what we realized was because we've been around for so long, we're able to connect with the boomers, Generation X, millennials. After that, the Zs, Gen Zs, and the Alphas coming up, we don't really speak that language. So that was a real slap in the face. And that's where we said we cannot be complacent, actually, because we don't speak the language. They cannot relate to us. So that's why we did this whole rebranding thing. And that's where part of the digitalization does come in. And the takeaway for us was actually 99% of our customers' journey begins online before they even step foot to our space, actually. If you think about it, I think it applies to actually almost most business today.
Yeah, it's true. And that's why the SEO game is so important.
100%.
Yeah. Can you elaborate? Like just now I saw you laughing at there were a lot of solution providers squatting outside waiting for us.
So interesting story. So I have a friend who's venture backed actually in a really boring space as well. I don't think he would want me to share the name of the company, but they spent over $1 million building an app. And after they did that, they told me that 70% of their customers don't even ever download the app, and the remaining 30% only opened it like 1.7 times, and then they just deleted it. So yeah, that's why I laughed at the app thing.
The app dynamics is a different ball game.
100%.
Not every business needs that.
100%.
Not every business even needs a website, right? But some do, and there's some advantage to those things, right? Yeah, but please continue.
And yet we're like bombarded every single day with 5 emails saying oh, the government's gonna pay for everything, just develop an app. So
to add on that, right? Because sometimes a lot of SME tauges think, government pay law, we try law, but it creates a lot of problems operationally. You have to put a few guys on that transition, and then it creates all this havoc, you know, and at the end, 6 months in, nothing comes out.
100%.
And then you're all very tired, right? When as compared to if you didn't do that effort, actually you could focus on other things. Right, so don't just think Enterprise Singapore give you money means must use.
I would like to add on to that when we built our e-commerce website, this is our third e-commerce platform. And we also, the journey that we went through it's the pitfalls, it's the vendors. A lot of web developers, they are very good in their programming part of it. And they may not be very good, and most of them, they are not very good in the design aesthetics part of it, and also SEO and SEM actually. So quite in our journey, all the different vendors that we have experienced, quite often there could be, you could have chosen the wrong solution, right? Because you have been misled by the vendor, for example, or maybe the solution that is implemented was inadequate also. So again, you are wasting resources and operation, all disruption. That's what we have actually experienced through. And one of our biggest challenge for us right now for e-commerce is we want to integrate the online and the offline experience into a more unified experience for the end user.
What does that mean?
So for example, we call this O2O2O, online to offline to online. It can also mean offline to online to offline. So even, let's say you're a customer for any business, right, or retail, you can come to our store and purchase, or you can just check out first, and you don't want to purchase right now, I want to purchase it later. But the experience of whether you're browsing online or you're in our physical space itself, it's rather unified. So that, or I can click online, purchase online, and next day I want to come to the space and check out the actual product. And before I really want to decide I want to check out or not, I can add to cart first, for example.
I want to ask a little bit more on that, right? Specifics. If I find your e-commerce store online, I think okay, interesting. Let me go down and see. Right? So that's the O2O part, right? In that journey, do you try to capture my email? Do you try to capture something from me such that you can retarget me at the end? I know this is technical, but yes,
if
please.
there is an opportunity, yes, we depends on there are at the end of the day there are still restrictions
It's true,
or
it's true.
rather
That's why I want to
check
understand,
boxes whereby the user whether do they want to allow. Yeah. So but if let's say you have already added to cart, if you want to have a record, you will definitely need to register a account with us already. So again, it all depends. You can choose not to, right? If you really just want to browse online and tomorrow I just want to head down to our space and check out the product, sure, by all means.
Okay.
But if let's say we have an opportunity to capture your data,
then you
don't worry, we won't
later.
sell your data because we are ethical people.
Yeah.
But we will try to use that data to analyze what products or what services will be a bit more relevant. Maybe your birthday's coming, I will send you a voucher. Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So of course we definitely won't go out of the boundary of what we shouldn't do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a very practical approach to it, right? Because all the consultant will tell you grand dreams, right? but this is very like, okay, this works, we do this, right? And I understand from an SME point of view, you want to right size your solution that makes sense. Yeah.
And the biggest challenge is to obtain this optimal omni-channel solution for e-commerce. It's not cheap. It's going to be
How much
very
would it cost?
expensive.
If you can give
it
some
really
ballpark.
range. It can be from up to 6 figures actually. Then you have to start measuring. It all depends how you go. Because the thing is, as we were having this brief conversation, e-commerce can be very expensive because you can start to. It's not a lot of people would think that, or we just did an interview with Channel News Asia about digitalization in the same topic, and the
But we're
journalist
better, right?
he was
Okay,
also, he was surprised that to hear from us that it's actually more costly to run e-commerce than a physical brick and mortar business. He was absolutely surprised and shocked. I said, yeah, because there is a platform fee, there is your website maintenance, there is payment gateway, buy now, pay later, installment scheme. If you want to have all these are all adds up. And maybe you want to team up with or tie up with logistic partners. You want to have CRM, customer retention system. We have a warranty management system. All this will add up. So your margin, your profit margin is not going to eat up. So that's where it's actually not very economical at all actually to run the e-commerce, to run it well actually. So yes, it's then we measure to the scope of our business, the scale of business, does it measure up to justify spending that much? So again, we have to be practical. We spend what we can afford that we think is relevant or appropriate for the size of a business. And we can try to scale up later.
Yeah, of course. And I think from a Tauke standpoint, you manage your capital flow. Right, little bit of things you test a bit. Then if it works, we stack a little bit more, we add a little bit more.
We try.
Yeah.
Going back to the conversation about collecting customer information, I wanted to better understand for you, James, because for you it's more product based, but for Repair.SG, it's really dependent on the customer's problems that suddenly come up. So I'm curious to know what kind of information would your business tend to collect from customers to help grow your business?
So the main thing is just phone numbers.
It's
Because,
true.
Yeah, like when they come to our website, they have a problem. They want to know how much it's going to cost. So there's just a WhatsApp button. They click on it. They send us a text. They will enter the number with their name. Then we can just call them if they don't answer. So that's just the main thing we focus on. Like even on our contact page, it's just WhatsApp us.
Yeah.
There's no like form. There's no nothing like that because that's the easiest way for them to reach us. So that's how we channel everyone.
Exactly, because you want to reduce the friction, right?
100%.
I just need somebody to fix my curtain.
Yes.
I'm not going to fill up a form and send in the email for inquiry.
Yeah.
Right? Just get me the contact, tell me the price. Can tomorrow come?
Exactly.
Right? And I think that's understanding the user journey
Correct.
on another level.
Yeah, and it's just we get the customer in, we solve their problem one time, we give them a good experience, and they just come back to us again because they'll realize that, wow, these guys are good. They do all these things as well, so why not just do it with them? So
And they will probably tell 10 of their friends to come to you, right?
100%.
Yeah.
We ask them actually. So at the end of every job, we just ask them, get a good experience. If you have a good experience, you refer us to a few friends, leave us a review on Google. So recently we just hit, I think 560 reviews on Google.
Wow.
So 4.9 stars, I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
It's been driving a lot of customers for us actually. So if there's one thing that I tell a lot of my friends that are starting out in this space is to collect reviews. Because nowadays, customers come to me and just say, look, I saw you on Google, your reviews are great, I don't care the price, just do it. So That's I think the biggest insight I've
Because
gotten
it's
over
a
the last few
firefighting
years.
situation.
100%, 100%. And even if it's not, they see the kind of things that our customers say about us, and they're like, these people seem different, and these are the kind of people that I want serving me. So that's why Google reviews, 100%. That's my
Great.
biggest thing.
Great. I like that. And no forms are necessary.
No forms,
right?
no
Stop
forms,
making me
absolutely
jump
not.
through too many forms.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. I know you want to collect my data, you want my birth date, where I stay, you want everything so that you can retarget me, right? But come on, if I'm just looking at a handyman business, I don't want to jump through that, right? So if you kind of leave it to a consultant or you leave it to like a marketing exec, of course, to them, they want all these content, right? They want all the database so that they can do it. But from a business and a customer experience, it's very different, right? I think that's very important.
One more thing I want to add. So actually, we do have a CRM where we collect like customer information. So like the kind of house they live in, how many air cons they have, whether they are, I guess, more inclined to want to maintain their house nicer. But
How do
all
you do
these
that?
things.
Yeah.
So it's very, very bare bones and easy. We just have our guys, when we serve the customer, just take notes. So when they're there actually helping the customer, talking to the customer, I just say, look, just ask the customer these few things, see if we can help them with anything else, and then fill it in our CRM. And if we want to retarget
That's
them in the
brilliant.
future, then we just do that.
Yeah, so when they walk in, this is system 5.
Yeah,
how many-
basically.
and then just right, and then the back end system already kind of populated. Oh my, that's why you can serve 18,000 customers, right?
Amazing.
It's no joke. Okay, then on that note, can we develop a little bit on the customer retention, customer re-engagement type of strategies that you play with? Yeah.
Okay, so there's no real one strategy that we do, but the biggest thing that we do is just, once again, very straightforward. Every few months, we'll just text them on WhatsApp, just say, hey, how's everything? Anything broken? If all's good, then we'll just be like, how are you? Just be nice to them, be their friend. That's all I really can say on this front.
Do you have a team to do that?
100%. So
Okay.
we have 3 people on the ops team. One's my brother, he's my operations person, he's head of operations. And we have 2 operations, I guess, in charges. We work on different shifts, and then they're just in charge of making sure the customers are happy.
So your job description is can use WhatsApp.
Yeah. Professional WhatsApp.
A professional WhatsApper. Okay.
WhatsApper.
Yeah, but what about you guys? You probably have a much more complicated kind of funnel
We do.
relative
we
to
do,
that, right?
we
Yeah. How do you do targeting at the
As I
back?
mentioned, we do a lot of content. So our sales team, actually since COVID, our team we threw them into a content creation kind of a hell. A hellfire, I would say that. They hated it. Okay, so how it all started was...
I know. They do some like tiny dance style thing, right? Like the whole performance, really cool. But
So
yes.
actually what happened was, because when we had our 4 months of lockdown, our sales team, and at the time they were very retail centric. That means a very face-to-face kind of, and when you can't have people coming in. And it was actually very fortunate because we were running e-commerce, so we could still apply for license to operate. Closed doors.
Okay.
Because as I said, we were selling essential items like USB microphones.
Yeah.
And so
What's that part of an essential list?
we coined it ourselves.
National essential list.
coined it ourselves.
USB
We use it
microphone.
we need it for Zoom meetings, right? So our sales team was suddenly like, suddenly it hit a wall. It's like, who are we going to sell to? So we told our sales team, we have 5, 6 of them, and said, okay, I need you guys to take back equipment back to your home. I'm going to provide you with webcam and audio gear that we sell anyway. I want you to do 1 live stream per person 1 day, so we can fill up 6 days of the week. And that's where they started this live streaming journey, whereby they didn't like it because talking to camera, they know like you guys are very, very natural on camera. So when we first started,
You must see when you first started also last summer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it took them a while to get used to it, but again, it took time and they got comfortable, and some of them have become quite addicted to it. So they became more comfortable in doing content, and they're more likely to always wait. Okay, what shall we do next? What shall we do next?
I understand. Like especially in the retail front, I don't think it's as common here. But when I was traveling like Thailand, in like China, all the retail shop got live stream corner,
Correct.
right? And then
So-
all the guys are just doing that.
So for our team, we try to build our team members now as they are all content creators now. They all would have their own sort of following. So one of them is more guitar centric, one is more keyboard centric. Someone could be talking more about audio, and they will try to churn out content.
Going back to the point about how your team are now all content creators, one thing I can't help but wonder is, was there friction amongst your team when you asked them to do the live streams? Like, because I can imagine if that's not in their blood, at least initially,
Not in the GT.
they must be really grumpy. Like when you ask them.
Definitely, we do have resistance, but I guess we just have to make them understand why we are doing it, and it will take time. Or even as of right now, we will still get into debate now. What kind of content should we do now? I don't want to do this content. I want to do that kind of content. So,
and that's a much better place than I don't want to do content.
True.
Right? That's already one step forward,
Correct.
right? So,
That's right. And also we still emphasize a lot on our people, whereby retail is still about people business.
Yeah.
So it's not about what we are selling. We are more focused on who is selling. That means we are the ones selling the product. It can be any brand or any product, but we want to always advocate that we are the ones selling. So that's where we try to make the connection. And also we make a lot of collaborations with a lot of other content creators, KOLs. We do product placements. We do a lot of UGC collaboration, user-generated content with KOLs. And when we have everyone else as a vested interest together, it's, we promote them, they promote us. We also work with a lot of other brands that we are distributing, and also brands that we are being supplied to by local distributors, like even DJI, or we're doing all different brands that all leading towards content creation, and we can actually start to connect the dots. We can try to build a community.
Yeah. In some sense, it's because of the work in front that you've done that you can start to take on more distribution, more products to come through your funnel, right? Essentially, yeah. And I think similar to what you're saying in front, because you say you're just a handyman, but you serve a lot of people. There must be something there, right?
Yeah,
So,
I really agree with what you said. Like, it's not about like customers wanting to buy a guitar. It's about buying a guitar from you guys, right? And same thing for us. Our customers want to fix their lights, of course, but it's not that they want to fix a light, they want to fix a light with us. So that's a very important part, because ultimately the kind of things that we do, the underlying thing is kind of like a commodity, but it's the personal touch that makes it different.
Awesome. So these are real experiences, not some vendor telling you use this, right? So yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And if our audience would like to connect with you, is LinkedIn a great place to learn from you guys? Okay, you can connect with their LinkedIn. And with that, this is the end of this panel at the TFC Business Show. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.